Hey, I'm really excited to share this video with you today. I'm getting ready to go do my play, Meisner, in LA in a few weeks. And it is a one-person show. I talked about this in another video about doing a one-person show while standing on stage. And again, when I walk on stage doing Meisner, you are Sandy's students. It's the first day of class and you're my students, and it's incredibly interactive. And I'm working off of every single person all night long. So it's, anyway, it goes to that teaching earlier, but that's not why I'm sharing this one. You know, I didn't write the play. I always say it was written by Sandy. It was spoken by Sandy. I just was smart enough to take down every single thing he wrote over a 4-year period, 2 in his professional private class, and then 2 more mentoring under Sandy to teach and as an actor as well, and created 15 notebooks and over 2,000 hours of class time. And from those 15 notebooks, those 2,000 hours of class time, I created the play Meisner. And I didn't want it to be about the Meisner technique. It can't help bleed in a little bit, but I wanted any actor to come. I wanted anyone to be able to bring their partner, spouse, friend who's not an actor and have an impactful evening. I knew the genius of Sandy. Sandy said so many incredible things and had days where we hardly even worked. He just taught. And it was little to do with, the technique and more to do with dealing with our stuff, our fears, our insecurities, our procrastination, our perfectionism, our desire to be good, the critic inside of us. I mean, this is at the core of the Meisner technique. Sandy used to say this isn't therapy, but it's incredibly therapeutic to work this way, to get up and get off yourself and put your focus on your partner. It's liberating. All nerves eventually go away. And if you're properly trained in the Meisner technique, you should be so liberated and free once you grow into it all. Again, another thing I say to our students on the last day of class of the formal training is congratulations, you're masters at the beginning of this technique now. And I'm 38 years removed from Sandy's class. I know how accurate that is. In other words, you're going to continue to grow into his genius to this work for as long as you do it. The Meisner technique at its core is all about freedom and authenticity, and there are no ceilings on those qualities. So you will continue to grow into those qualities for sure. So that's what I get to go do. I'm heading to LA to do the show at the Playhouse West, another iconic Meisner studio. It was founded by Bob Carnegie and Jeff Goldblum. Jeff's career took off shortly after they opened the studio, so he didn't teach as much, but he was around all the time when I was there because he was still teaching. But the reins were taken over by Bob Carnegie and his wonderful faculty and staff, and so they're a bit of a sister school for us. We're not. It's their own school, my own studio, but it's just we have a beautiful relationship. Bob has been an incredible colleague and friend over the years, and I'm grateful for both of those relationships. So I bring my show there every couple of years to his students, and it's a real privilege because I get to be in the same room where Sandy taught me. And here can you believe that? I mean, can you imagine that? And then here I get to do the show, playing my teacher in the very same room. It's one of the great highlights for me, for sure. So what I'm doing today is I wanted to share with you. I don't share the play. I don't sell it. It's not available online. But I wanted to give you, this community that's been so loyal, a taste of the show. I'm going to get, it starts, I come on stage, it's New York City, 1955. So I play young Sandy, and in the Act 2, I play old Sandy. It's 30 years later. And so the reason why I chose to do that was there was so much content and information I wanted to get out there that I just couldn't talk like this the whole time, like I do in the Act 2. So this way he's young and vibrant and strong and passionate, all the things he was. I interviewed a lot of his alumni, his great alumni like Sidney Pollack and Mary Steenburgen and Mark Rydell, John Voight were all kind enough to meet with me. And so that, because they were with him during that time, so I could ask, what was he like? Am I on track? And their support was invaluable, incredible. and by all accounts, apparently do a really, really good job of it. Jimmy Kahn came to the play, I think the last time we did it before he passed. I think it might be 4 years ago when we were down there. But anyway, and he was incredibly effusive and celebratory of, he just literally said, I feel like I was staring at Sandy. So being able to capture him as a young version when I wasn't around him was all through the support of his alum. So, and then I didn't finish the point, so let me do that, which is the piece itself. So I took a quote from this day, a paragraph from this day, a page and a half from this day, and then just shuffled it together, kind of copy and pasted and shuffled and created from 2,000 hours of class time and condensed it down to what that would be a little over 2-hour show. The thing that's completely intact is the first day of class. The first day of class, it went like this. So I'm going to give you a good portion of it, okay? And I'm just going to do it as Jim here, but here we go. Sandy walks on stage. He looks, and again, let's go back to the technique. I'm literally working off of people, and I say, so you want to be actors? It's the first line. So you want to be actors. And typically, there's going to be people nodding. And of course, I go right to them. I look them right in the eye, and I go, really? And they always nod like this. And then I go, we'll see. Now, this is exactly what Sandy did on the first day of class. So you want to be actors. We'll see. Before we begin, I'd like to say a few things. And the first is congratulations. You see, you represent less than 1% of the people on this planet. Do you know why? Because you are at least trying to follow your heart and pursue your dreams, because every single person has their dreams, and most every single person isn't pursuing it. It's rare. The courage it takes to follow your heart and pursue your dreams in spite of all the fears, in spite of all the hurdles, in spite of all the obstacles, most people can't do it. And so instead they just settle. They choose instead a safe and often mediocre life. You'll know the second you're living a mediocre life, you'll say things like, thank God it's Friday, about your job. Thank God it's Friday. He goes, can you imagine that? That this is the thing that you spend most of your life doing. And you can't wait for the weekend to come, to get a break from it. But unfortunately, that's most people. But you moved here. In spite of all the fears and doubts and insecurities, you found that courage. So, congratulations. You're rare. I celebrate you, and so should you. I'd also like to celebrate your insanity, right? You've been diagnosed by everyone back home as crazy for doing this. And if you want a life like theirs, they're right. You are crazy. The only thing more difficult than making a living as an actor would be selling your poetry door to door, which means you'll probably never own a house in a country where that's the barometer for a successful life, a mortgage payment that causes ulcers every month. You'll probably never own a house because instead you'd rather own this crazy dream. So again, I celebrate your courage, your insanity, and everything else it took for you to show up here. And that does lead me to ask you a question. And it is the single most important question I'm ever going to ask you. Hell, it's the single most important question you're ever going to ask yourself. And that is this. Why are you doing this? Why do you really want to be an actor? Because these days, most everyone's thought about it, daydreamed about it. Your biggest critics back home fantasize about being actors, but they don't want to be actors. They want to be famous. They want to be movie stars. They want to be so famous they can tell everybody back home in South Dakota, see, I told you I was special. Being an actor was never supposed to be about fame and money. That's new. Until recently, being an actor was actually a religious calling because the serious actor actually took a vow of poverty upon entering this profession. But these days, you can now become rich and famous. No problem. No problem. And you just moved to a town where anyone can call themselves an actor and make a fortune. If you look the part or know the right person, that's talent in Hollywood, who you know how you look. Sad but true. This wonderful craft of acting is being watered down by a dollar bill, and it's getting worse by the day. It's okay. I enjoy a challenge. I enjoy a good fight. I'm willing to stick it out and fight for the type of acting and theater I believe in. My question is, can you? Okay. There's a little bite. If there's interest, if you want more, let me know, and we'll post some more snippets along the line, okay? But at least I thought I'd give you a little sampling of just what it was like and just how special Sandy was. He was it. Okay. See you soon.